Yo, Internet! Welcome back to the show, our second episode.
Yeah. First one, well, second one's gonna go even better. So cheers to that.
Although we did have sort of a hiccup, the supposed topic today was Sweden versus the UK, but our guest for that topic, Ollie, he got sick, so we had to make a quick or late change. So the topic today is Megavalanche. And instead of Ollie, we have Mileta, who's actually done it twice. But we'll get back to that later in the main topic of the show.
Resident Megavalanche nerd. Yeah, it's a pity Ollie couldn't make it, but adapt and overcome. So yeah, Megavalanche it is. All right, so do you want to talk us in?
Yeah, a quick recap. What is this show? Well, I guess it's a show about the gravity-oriented side about mountain biking from two middle-aged amateur bikers. Mileta, you're kind of more into the freeride side of things, and I'm kind of more into the enduro racing side of things.
Is right? 36 middle-aged?
You are now.
Yeah, I'm getting them middle age. Definitely.
Yeah, kind of. I am 40 plus, so well, I am at least. And as you might remember from the last show, we are switching channel for each show. So this time we're on my channel. Next episode will be on Mileta's channel. HF. Have fun trying. So
nobody gets that.
If you don't subscribe to his channel yet, please do so. We'll leave links in the comments or in the description for this channel. Also, feel free to post any questions in the chat during the episode. If they're about what we're talking about, we'll try and answer them directly. And if they're not, we'll try and get to them at the end of the episode. Anything else to say about what this? Yeah. Oh, also, I guess Die Trying Gravity might sound as a strange name if you didn't join in on the last show. It's actually playing with both of the titles of our YouTube channels. Mileta's channel, Have Fun or Die Trying, and my name, Gravity Escapades. So it's Die Trying Gravity. Although we prefer not to die, I guess.
Not dying, yeah. Yeah, we both had a few slams.
We did. All right, it is what it is. So, Mileta, what's been your best training session or riding session since the last show?
Best riding? When did we have the last show? 2 weeks ago. I've barely ridden. I've been out once, and by out, I don't actually mean outside of the building. I meant like inside the building. I live in an old mental hospital, so it's a really, really long building. It's like over 120 meters long, and there's a really wide corridor in the basement that spans the entire length of the building. So when I have very little time and it's cold and dank and horrible outside, well, I just I go down to the basement. That's about it. The corridor is wide enough to be able to turn a bike. So I grabbed my dirt jumper over there and I played around with just slow speed maneuvers, manuals. I tried foot jams, which didn't end well several times. Foot jams are freaking hard. I mean, when you're used to having a front brake, getting up on the front wheel with your foot stuck in your fork is hard. I need to work on that, but yeah, at some point.
I think most people that didn't hear you talk about what you actually did, they were probably thinking more like he lives in an old insanity ward and he goes down to the basement with his bicycle. Well,
old mental hospital. It's great because the sound insulation in the walls is phenomenal. Okay. Nobody hears you scream when you smack your head on the floor after looping out from a manual, but yeah, no, I don't tend to bother anybody down there, and it's just basically an access corridor for our bike rooms, of which there are many. So why not? Play around down there. Don't expose myself to the elements. I'm pointing that way because my window's that way, and yeah, I'm scared of what's outside. It's cold and horrible.
Yeah, I think my best session was this weekend actually. I went out into all the all that cold, wet stuff, but I actually felt kind of confident on the wet routes this weekend.
Oh, that's good.
What it was, yeah.
Where did you ride?
Hellas
Okay.
area. Also, I met this really fast dude, and he, I tried to keep up with him, and I got really tired, so that was good also.
Good training. Now, Hellas has some super nasty off-camber routes that nobody really likes, but good work, man. Good work. Hampus, Santa Cruz t-shirt. If you watch my last video, you would have seen why. Should I spoil it, or should you just let everybody watch it? I'll let everybody watch the video.
I think it's I find it hard to understand why Hampus hasn't kept up with your stuff, right? What the hell? Yes, with the program, Hampus.
But yeah, there's a Santa Cruz hanging on the wall over there. The reason is a woman looking at her phone rather than the road. Basically smacked into us on the highway. Totaled both our bikes, including my lovely Pivot. And then Pivot, it's Corona year, so they had a hard time delivering a new frame. I just basically got the insurance money from the crash and got myself a Nomad.
I'm not sure why, but I've been actually looking forward to seeing your last video with the Pivot. I'm not sure what that's about, but I don't. To be honest, that's just how it was.
It's a beautiful bike, and it's a very sad end to an era. And I still love that bike. I mean, if I had the chance to get it again, now Pivot doesn't make 27.5 inch Firebirds anymore. If I had the chance to get a 27.5 inch Firebird again, I probably would. I mean, although I love that bike, they're just different bikes, basically. No, I don't think she did. But
and how do you know that she did?
Speculating.
Yeah.
But if you're in a queue, like if there's traffic on a highway, what the hell else do you do? Stare at your phone. I mean, you should be, staring at the car in front of you, but
yeah. All right. So, did you see any good videos since the last episode?
Too many. Absolutely too many. I'm gonna have to start with Red Bull's The Old World. Phenomenal, like cinematic, beautifully filmed video. All about basically the riders from Europe. There's 15 different riders from Europe who got the show off their stuff. The filming on this video is phenomenal. The drone shot, the slow-mo, the like cinematic transitions from one clip to another. It's a textbook example of how to make a very good film. So yeah, definitely I could recommend that.
Funny you'd say that, because I thought it was kind of bleak, actually.
I loved it. I
love the British shots with Rachel and who was that other guy?
Chris Ackrick.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Love that part. The rest of it, not so much. Maybe the Martin Söderström and Emil Johansson part also was quite good, but the rest of it, I'm not sure. People on BMX is just spinning. I'm not sure how fun that is.
I love watching like old BMX movies. I think it's like the technique involved in doing that on a dinky little bike with no suspension, and then the risks involved. I mean, we've got 170 mil of travel to compensate for our bad or lack of skills, really, bad technique. But they don't. And trust me, like trying to ride a BMX is just a completely different beast. I feel way more comfortable on a mountain bike than I ever did on a BMX. That's why I don't really ride BMX anymore.
Yeah. All right. So the other movie or the video
so I wasn't really going to mention Chris Ackrick's latest edit because Chris Ackrick is part of the Old World as well. But I'll mention G. Atherton's Ridgeline. Basically above where they have the Duffy Bike Park, there's a ridge, and apparently they always wanted to make a track down that ridge. Now it's basically a series of very, very long high-speed step downs, which if you miss the landing on, you crash and burn very, very badly, which is in the intro of the movie, actually. Sure.
It's funny to see how his bike just flew like 50 meters down the trail.
Yeah. But those jumps require some serious like mental strength and then some serious balls to hit. I mean, he must be going at like 1,000,000 miles an hour just to clear that. That's like a 25, 30 meter jump. It's huge.
Yeah.
And then it's like you're barely on the ground before you leave.
Yeah, I actually had that video on my list also, the Ridge Line. I liked it a lot. Really cool, really nice film. Then, yeah, nice scenery. Yeah, everything. I liked it a lot. On top of that, I had kind of two videos on the same topic, one from Biking with Bobo and another from Alexander, the single track sampler. Both made videos on coming back from a crash.
Yeah, I haven't watched them yet.
Yeah, I can appreciate both those videos. I mean, Biking with Bobo, he can be kind of clown-ish, right? I'm not sure how fun all that farting and that stuff is, but he's actually quite good video maker also. And yeah, thought they were.
He used to work in Hollywood movies before, I think.
Not sure.
He's pretty skilled.
Yeah, I like his news. MTB News or something like that. He does once in a while. Have you seen him?
It's his comedy, yeah. It's quite good MTB comedy, really.
Yeah.
I like it.
All right, cool. We'll post all the links in the description later on after the show, so you can catch up if you haven't seen them yet.
Yep.
So, moving on to the main topic for today, the Megavalanche, and you've done it 2 times, Mileta.
Yeah. Why did I do it 2 times? Why do I want to do it a 3rd?
But walk us through what is. I mean, this is like a week of racing.
Yeah.
What's the setup for the Megavalanche?
It's basically a kind of a bike festival based on several races. So it's up on top of the Alpe d'Huez, really, really nice mountain in the Alps. It's just somewhere around Grenoble, basically, 80 kilometers, was it, east of Grenoble. The village of Alpe d'Huez is about 2,100 meters altitude. So, you get pretty decent altitude. So it's actually hard to ride there. And then you start riding, like the start of the race is at 3,300. So you got to be like physically prepared to ride that altitude. It's a good thing to get there, a week in advance. Bit of altitude training doesn't hurt. But yeah, it's basically a bike fest based on a race. There are several races throughout the week that aren't like mandatory. There's a chainless race, an enduro, like on the Wednesday usually. You start the week off on the Monday, and then there's several races through the week. There's also like events in the afternoon, like after bike events where manufacturers display their stuff, and usually like a trials rider who does something, and it's just a big party basically. And then you have qualies on the Friday, and depending on how you qualify, you either have your race on the Saturday or the Sunday.
But everyone qualifies and everyone gets the race, or can you not qualify?
You can not qualify for the timed races.
Mm-hmm.
So you have let me just go through the format. It's basically a mass start downhill race. So the actual race is 350 people starting at the same time, and you're riding an hour-long track, a 30-kilometer track, basically from the top of Pic Blanc, where there's usually ice and snow, to all the way down in Allemont, which is 1,400 meters below you somewhere, and 30 kilometers away. So you go through an entire range of terrains, from snow to shale to like alpine meadows to like bike parky berms to forest to it's incredibly demanding on the body. So that's the format. Now, so regarding the races, right? So your starting number is the order that you apply in. So the order that you get your start number allotted to you is the order that you start in qualifying. So qualifying is basically a crapshoot. Whether you're on the first row or the last row, it's a total crapshoot. But depending on how you qualify, you get put into a race. Now, the first 350 end up racing on, or the best 350 end up racing on the Sunday. The next best end up racing on the Saturday, and so on. So there are 3 timed races, I think.
Everyone's doing the same track. I mean,
yeah, everybody's doing the same track.
Yeah.
So the 3 best races, the 3 best 350 riders get to have a mass start timed race, and then everybody else has kind of a free start whenever they want to start, basically within a certain time, and they don't get a timed race. So you want to get into the best 3 times 350, basically.
How many participants are there?
Usually around 2,500 to 3,000, but then you're counting both the men and the women and the e-bikes as well. There's an e-bike race and there's a kit race the same week. So it's basically a giant mountain bike festival based on a race. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm. Did you qualify for the main race, or?
No, I never managed to.
Were you far off?
I was off by what was I off? Second time I was off by just not very much. I was off by like 3 places in qualies.
Oh.
But honestly, it depends on what you want to get out of the week. So I've been thinking about this. Is it better to be in the first row of the second race, so the second best 350, or in the last row of the first race? There's a lot of tactics involved in this, right? Because although it's a relatively long, wide course, there are very few spots where you can overtake, and those spots are usually like the uphills, the meadow, which is halfway through the race, and you're coughing up a lung by that point. So you don't really want to be stuck behind a bunch of people. You want to be kind of in the first few rows. So I think it's better to qualify within your capability, within your skill level. So if I'm in the second best 350, then I'd rather qualify, in the first row of the second best 350 than the last row of the first 350, if you know what I mean.
Then again, that's not a problem you've really had yet. Then.
No.
That's what you're dreaming of, qualifying in.
It'd be nice to qualify as, one of the best 350 on the mountain. But then again, you get the likes of professionals over there. Like Sam Hill was there. Josh Bryceland was there in 2017. So I've really got nothing to compete with. They're a different league.
So do you do any alterations to your bike for this race?
So the first time around, I rode a specialized stump jumper, I think. Stump jumper Evo, 2014 stump jumper Evo. Second time around, I rode an Enduro.
Enduro.
Yeah. Not really. I mean, I beefed it up with better brakes. So I had 4-pot brakes. I rode Shimano Z's both times, and like the biggest rotor you can find, the 200 mil rotor, both front and rear, and then just proper downhill casing tires. So you know how like here at home you think about, okay, well, rolling resistance, and is that tire going to be too hard to pedal on, and so on. I didn't care about that. I just didn't want to sit on the side of the trail and get punctures. So Magic Marys, Schwalbe Magic Marys they're a decent kind of all around downhill tire, pretty sticky. Downhill casing, just as beefy as I could go, basically, and as big a tire as I could fit into the frame. And that worked out. I didn't get punctures. Both times. I didn't puncture both times, and I rode the same tires.
So is there a lot of punctures?
Yeah. Oh yeah. People break wheels. People puncture. That mountain eats up bikes. I'm not seeing too many broken frames, but I've seen like wheels that exploded. There's a video of Rat Boy just exploded a wheel. Blake Sampson from GMBN busted a wheel. I think he just dented it really badly or something in a crash. But yeah, like to the point where the tube just kind of like popped out, blew pieces. But then again, these are people who know how to ride a bike. They're not me. So they push a lot harder.
Talk us through the race, top to bottom.
So
I already alluded. Maybe you start with the qualification run. Is that the same track or?
No. I already kind of alluded to this. So that the qualies are you run part of the same track. The meadow bit in the middle is kind of the same, but the qualies are, I'd say, technically, they're harder. There's more involved because you're riding rocks a lot more there, or you only basically have 10 kilometers to prove yourself instead of 30, so you can't kind of pace yourself. The qualities
you only have 10 kilometers of a downhill race to
Now, so we should just compare and contrast this to an actual downhill race where fine you ride bigger bikes and you probably go faster, but you ride 3 to 5 minutes. This was a 19-minute qualification run and an hour and 7-minute race run. So you see how tired like downhill riders are at the end of their 3 to 5 minute run. Yeah. You're coughing up a kidney by the time you get to the finish line.
The qualies, are they also a mass start or?
Yeah, except you start, there are few people starting, so it's 150 to 180 usually.
Okay, so quite a lot.
Yeah, and everybody's pushing. Like everybody's just giving it their all, and it's elbows out, and it is physical. You see people crashing in front of you because they ride into somebody else, and everybody's like cutting you off. And so you need to plan your lines. Like it's not like, okay, I need to find the best line, the fastest line. It's like I need to find the fastest line, and then like 6 other alternatives that are safer in case 150 people just try and cut me off. It's a mind fuck, to be fair, but it's one of these like really, really beautiful races where everybody just it's like stampeding herd of people. It's beautiful. So yeah, the qualies they're faster, they're rockier, the terrain is less forgiving, definitely less forgiving. So there are more punctures there, I'd say, than there are in the actual race. And then there's no snow in the qualies, or there's very little snow in the qualies. So you end up riding the bike park part of Alpe d'Huez. And the speeds are ridiculous.
And going into the main race, do you get to practice that track a lot, or do you ride blind?
Yeah. No. You get the entire week to practice. So from the Monday, from Monday afternoon, I think you can start going to from the Tuesday morning you can start going to Pic Blanc, so the top of the start of the race. Mm-hmm. Monday afternoon you pick up your lift pass and so on, usually. So you get the entire week to practice. All the trails are open for whatever you want to do on them. Practice, sightsee, walk. It's a long walk, but you can actually stop and like ride a bit and then stop and look at several sections. That being said, let's see on my bucket list. No, it's not. I'll go through the costs later on, Hampus. So that being said, like if you've ridden most things in Hellas. So like if you're somewhat comfortable with, let's say the Nacka trails in Hellas, that's roughly the most technical stuff that we have in Stockholm. Then the stuff in the Megavalanche isn't that hard. I mean, it's not a technically demanding race. It's an incredibly physically demanding race, which also means that the stuff that isn't as technically demanding gets very demanding because, you know, by the time you get to it, you're super tired. You've got arm pump up the wazoo, and you know you can't brake. You just, your mind does not function as well. You're not focused, and that's where the crashes happen.
So talk us through your latest race run, top to bottom. Talk about, you know, what kind of terrain are you facing, and what was your experience in every section, and what happened? What were you feeling?
All right, so let's just put it this way: the line to the bathrooms before the start is very, very long.
Is that what the race really is decided, or?
Yep. It's whether you get rid of those like last 200 grams. It's all about the weight, baby. Nah, it's nerve-wracking. It's like you ride this. First of all, you have to get up really early. You have to get up like at 5:30 to get to the start, because it involves almost an hour riding and then riding lifts up to the top of the mountains. And there's giant queues, so you need to get up pretty early. And by that time, you know, but by the time you start, which is around 9 p.m. or 9 a.m., you've been awake for a while. You're already tired. You've already had like at least breakfast and a snack. So your day started, and then you come up to this giant ass peak at 3,300 meters, and you know you look below you, and it's a pretty sharp peak. So the views are phenomenal. Just don't be scared of heights, seriously, because like there's nothing below you, literally. It's a black ski slope. It's pretty steep at the start, which actually helps because the start's usually snowy, and
it helps.
It helps. The start's snowy because you're that high up and snow never melts there, but it can be pretty slushy in first week of July when the race is usually held. So the steepness helps you to actually go down.
It usually does.
It'd be horrible if you had to pedal through that.
Okay.
So you start on a black ski slope, and then you ride that for a few hundred meters. Then there's a sharp right into kind of a traverse, and then another kind of like really black ski slope. You need to keep your momentum to that bend, and you need to not crash because there's 350 people around you. It's just a shit show. Everybody gets kind of drawn to the left, and that if you look at like Megavalanche videos on YouTube, you'll see where the crashes happen. They're always like this mass of people rolling down the left side of the trail because it kind of cambers that way. If you ride the right, there's nobody there, and you get a much straighter line, way more speed, but then you have to scrub that speed off before the corner, which is hard. So yeah, there's.
Did you crash in that corner, or did you roll through it?
I didn't crash in that corner. I crashed a bunch later on. I actually 2017 I was in the second best race, the second best 350 people on the mountain, and I was in the second row. I think I qualified pretty well. I was top 50 in that race up until my brakes started failing, and I was just coughing a lung out. I was too tired. So like up to about the climb in the middle of the race, I was top 50. The snow section went beautifully.
So what happens? At first, there's this sharp snow thing, and then you go on to more rocky terrain?
Snow traverse, then another sharp, like, black ski slope, which, by the way, I rode on my ass. Fastest way to get down it. Seriously, you don't risk crashes. You're already on the ground. The problem with ski slopes is that, you lose contact with your bike, and you start rolling down, your bike stays put. which means that you need to hike up like a few hundred meters to get back to your bike. After that, you get into like shale, so high alpine terrain, no shrubbery, barely any grass. It's just shaly, and it slides pretty well. So there's a lot of like rolling shale and rubble. Good times. It line's about 20 centimeters wide, and everything kind of just rolls with you. By that time, you're kind of spread out. Tire pressures, all the PSIs, literally all the PSIs, so you don't puncture. Johan Oserov, I was asking a question there. No, but so the rocky terrain is pretty demanding on your cornering ability, on your wheels and your tires. I've seen very many slash tires. And then you get into the meadows after that. That's a lot more kind of flowy, bike parky terrain. Not as many rocks, but still, you need to watch out. There are a few spots there where you really need to watch out for the rocks. After the meadows, there's a climb.
Are you like 10 kilometers in now, or where are we in?
So you're about the climb's about halfway through, I'd say.
Okay.
So about 15 kilometers in. And so by this point, the meadows is basically a 5 to 7 minute sprint, slightly uphill, 5 to 7 minute, and you're dead by the time you get to the start of the meadow. And then by the time you get to this climb afterwards, you're even more dead. So the entire race is basically conserving energy so that you have energy to sprint and overtake people where you find a chance to do so. It would be very stupid to attack off the get-go. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And you need to keep that in mind the entire time, that it's like, conserve energy, don't break the bike. It's a 30-kilometer downhill race. There's always going to be more terrain to ride over.
So what's that bottom 50%? Is it like you get into the forest, or?
Yeah. So from the top of the climb, there's basically a bike parky kind of long traverse where you hit some ridiculous speeds. You hit like 60 an hour on something that resembles I wouldn't really call it a wide flow trail at a bike park, but like a medium wide flow trail. So what can I compare it with? Manolito maybe in Järvsö. You hit that, and then you're into a whole bunch of berms and then into the forest, and that's just kind of like really beautifully loamy and bermy. That part is just fun to ride. It's steep as heck in places, and it's just beautiful fun to ride. You can kind of two-wheel drift all over the place and just have fun. But the problem is, by that time, your arms are just giving up. I mean, your legs are fine because you're mostly riding down. Yeah, you've been standing on the bike for an hour, but still, your legs are fine. Your brakes are cooking, and you've got arm pump, and your breathing is like off the charts. Your heartbeat is off the charts. You can, you're seeing red. You can barely focus on anything, and you're meant to be riding, steep loam. So yeah, good luck with that. That's where I've mostly crashed. I mean, it's not, there aren't too many rocks there, so it's fine to crash. It doesn't really hurt, but like, you're so tired that everything takes longer. Like getting up to the bike, just locating yourself after a crash takes longer than there's people behind you. So you need to let them pass. Maybe, you need to get up to speed and so on. It's a process.
So how do you prepare for a race like Megavalanche? Or do you just take the free ride approach, just go there, ride, bro?
I'd say you don't prepare for it. There's no way to prepare for it. I mean, you can look at lines all you want, but at the end of the day, there's however many people behind you, around you, and they're going to, be elbows out. They're going to be attacking. They're going to be pushing. You're going to end up off your planned line, however you cut it. And if we just look at, like the physical preparation, it's tough. I mean, especially living in Sweden, you don't have the altitude. So you can't really prepare for, it takes like a week just to get up to speed on that altitude. And then to physically prepare for a 30-kilometer downhill race, it just, I would call it impossible. I mean, there are people who are very fast on that course, professionals who do that for a living. But yeah, for an amateur, a person with a family, a person with a job, you train, but it's never going to be enough. There's no amount of training that's ever going to prepare you for that. And it's not just like how fit you are. You need to be strong. You need to be like mentally strong. The mental part is huge in that, right? So if you can like stop yourself from attacking too early on, you'll be fresher for the rest of the race. You won't crash, and that's where you lose the biggest amount of time. You just need focus. That's it. So it's hard to prepare for a race like that. There's so many facets of it that it's not like your local enduro. It's your local enduro on steroids and about 28 kilometers longer.
So did you? What's the biggest crash you were involved in or did see?
Oh God, I have a crash compilation video.
Yeah, you have several videos from the Megavalanche, right?
Yeah, there's a whole playlist of stuff there.
We'll put it in the description later on.
Like the crash I remember the most is at the start of the 2015 race. So for some reason, I decided to ride with a bag. Stupid choice. Basically, you barely have any time to drink. So that's right. Competing is a feat in itself, definitely. Staying alive through the entire week and not breaking anything is also that. But so the start of this race was, it was snowing on the left side of the trail, but it wasn't on the right. So I tried to hug the right side, the rocks, where I'd get a little bit more traction. And I decided to ride with a bag, which is literally the stupidest thing you can ever do. Don't ever ride downhill with a bag. I don't care how much water you need, but a bag just gets in the way. There's a water bottle mount on a bike. You can ride with a back protector and a bottle stuffed into it. You can stuff a bottle into your pants. I don't care, but a bag will just like strap all the extra stuff you need to your bike. A bag will just put your weight off. I just don't feel comfortable riding with a bag, especially not at speed. So somehow I managed to hit my dropper lever, and I set my dropper up. And this is kind of like that.
You've all done that?
Angle. Yep. So there were too many people in front of me. I couldn't ride out, so I kind of pushed the bike out, and then I tried to get on it. Didn't realize that my dropper was all the way up, and my bag got caught in it, which sent me over the bars, sent the bike like rolling 50 meters down the hill in this whole mess of people trying to ride and roll down and whatnot. So yeah, there's a slow-mo video of the bike going boink, 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 just rolling down the hill, and me, sitting on my ass going, oh, well, that's going to take a while to pick up. It wasn't a good start. Let's put it that way.
So how much pedaling is it in that race? How much is, just rolling, and how much is actually pedaling?
There's, I'd say there's quite a bit of pedaling, because there are a lot of these like punchy climbs. There's one long climb, it takes maybe 10, 12 minutes. But there are a lot of these like punchy climbs that are short, but pretty steep. So you need to be on your game to, shift up and, go just try and pick up as much momentum as you can so that you can, have a little bit of help going up the hill. And that is kind of like interval training. It kills you, like literally depletes your energy. So I'd say there's quite a bit of pedaling actually. And then towards the end, you're getting more tired, and there's a finish line sprint. There's a few like car roads that you need to ride along to link up different bits of the forest trail. So there's a bit of sprinting involved, and I wouldn't say it's a pure on downhill race. Like, it's not just woods and bike park. There's definitely an enduro, so you need to be extremely fit for it, like be able to pedal hard.
Mm-hmm. Did you have any celebrity interactions during the race?
Funny you ask that. So 2015, not so much, but 2017, I mentioned Sam Hill was there. Saw him a couple of times. He was just signing autographs.
Did he get one?
No. There was too many people crowding him. There was a ride, like midweek ride that you can book. It's like ride with Sam Hill and the New Proof team. That got booked up real quick.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But 2017, top of the climb, I didn't know this was going to happen, but the entire 50-1 crew was there, like the old 50-1 crew when they were back on Santa Cruz. And they were naked, like butt fucking naked. So
how close did that interaction become?
Well, high five Rat Boy, who was wearing, socks.
In all the wrong places, or?
No, in the right places. The wrong places are exposed. No, the entire 51 crew is there, like streaking at the top of the climb, going, pedal, and just like pushing people along and high fiving. It was a good kind of stunt. It was funny. It's exactly what you need to kind of like laugh your pain away after, that horrible climb. So it was good times, really. And then I also seen them riding in this little town. What the hell is it called? I remember. Can't remember what it's called. Damn it! A little town in France that we went to afterwards. Annecy, yes, exactly. Actually, the 51 crew have a video from there, like doing dirt jumps. My now wife and I were riding around, and just we saw them ride a little bowl, like a skate bowl. And Jesus Christ, are those people talented on like little bikes in a skate bowl? It's ridiculous. Like the amount of talent those guys have is just stunning. But yeah, back to the Megavalanche. That was kind of it. And there's a photo of me with Rat Boy somewhere. Mm-hmm. But as cool as that is, and I don't think it's that cool. There's this one guy who raced the last 10 or 15 Megavalanches. Now this race has been going on for 25 years almost. On a Carpeel. A Carpeel is a like a really early freeride bike with 2 shocks. Bender used to ride them, like 2 rear shocks and the giant freaking suspension, monster tees up front. Huge bike, weighs roughly the equivalent of a small car. Doesn't pedal well. I mean, he's basically pushing it up all the climbs, but then on the way down, it's basically like riding a sofa. And he's been riding the same bike and doing upkeep on it year after year and after year, and he's been coming back to the Mega. So that was awesome to be able to sit on that bike that's done the Mega like 15 times and just like bounce around in a car park. That I love that. That's like probably the best memory I have from the Mega. Just actually getting to sit on a Carpeel.
So Keith asks, what's your goal for the next one? If there is a next one, are you doing a next one?
What's my goal? So I was gonna ride the 2021. It was gonna be the 25th anniversary race. Unfortunately, Corona. So there's another unfortunate fact that these races tend to be when my wife has her birthday in the beginning of July. So I kind of always have to, well, ask permission nicely to not be there for my wife's birthday. But yeah, I'm planning to do the next one if possible. It's going to be a blast, and my goal is to try and nail that track in under an hour. I think I've gotten faster on a bike, and I think it's possible. I mean, my last time was an hour and 7 minutes, I think, just over that. So that wasn't too bad. I mean, there's 7 minutes to be had on that track. I crashed a couple of times. My snow section was good, but then my brakes started to fade, and my arms weren't as strong in the woods. So I mean, there's definitely better lines to be had, and on an hour and 7 minute long track, I can definitely get 7 minutes, especially if you look at like my times down our local downhill runs in Yavs or whatever. I mean, they've been improving steadily, and I think I could get 7 minutes. So under an hour, and I'm happy. The pros do that track in 40 to 45 minutes.
All right. So when you were talking about rucksacks, Tony asked about hip pack.
Yeah. I just taped everything to the bike. So the more stuff I could tape to the bike, the better. I think actually I didn't run a rucksack in a race, but I ran it in practice in 2017. Since then, I've kind of stopped riding with rucksacks, but hip packs are fine. You do need to have quite a bit of stuff with you if you're going to be self-sufficient, especially if you're a freaking YouTuber and you need 16 GoPro batteries and a backup GoPro. But yeah, you need at least like 1 or 2 tubes, a few CO2 cartridges, your regular stuff, but just beefed up. You need to be self-sufficient. You need water. There's no stopping in the race, so it's full on attack from the get-go. Yeah, hip pack would definitely do. If you can stuff things in your pockets, I don't know. Depending on where the pockets are on your pants or your shirts, I don't like having too many things in my pockets because of the risk of injury. So like if you have a multi-tool in your pants pocket, you don't want to like hit a rock onto the multi-tool onto your hip and just smush your muscle or your bones or something. That would hurt. But yeah, definitely some kind of storage. The more you can bring with you, the better, I think.
All right, cool. I think we're gonna leave the main topic and go for the outro.
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys have any more questions regarding the Megavalanche or whatever, make sure to shoot them in the comments right now. So what happens on your channel the coming 2 weeks or something?
Coming 2 weeks, I have just released a video, the last video of the Summer Bike Park Tour series. That was end of last week, so go watch that. And I'm currently editing another one, and that's going to be the Enduro. You and I raced that. That was a fun little race. It was the first time I raced in almost 2.5 years. I went very free ride for a while. I went very free ride for a while, and I haven't raced in a bit. So that was good fun. I won't come out with any spoilers. What about you?
I'm still working on my sort of the new Capra 29 I bought in the beginning of the year, working on my, I guess, the sort of review, getting to know the bike video. Haven't spent that much time editing, to be honest. So that's what I'm working on now. Hoping I'll be able to get it done in like a week. And I do have a new exciting partnership going on with the channel that I'm not gonna talk so much about yet. It's not about sponsoring. I'm not getting any money. It's not that. But I'm gonna work with someone, and I'm excited about it. But we haven't really started doing it, so we'll see. I'm hoping it's gonna turn out well, and I'll talk more about it in the future.
Very excited to hear that. Definitely very excited.
I think it'd be cool. Especially if you're interested in the more my part of the stuff, enduro racing compared to your freeride stuff. Yeah.
Oh, that could be cool. All right, so upcoming streams and topics. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think we should continue with this this format. I think this works really well, and it kind of helps get our mind off of the horrible weather and the corona and whatnot. So I think it's a fun little project for both our channels. And topics.
I guess we are going to do the Sweden versus UK topic. Other than that, I mean, we're very open to topics, right? So if you have any ideas, shoot them in the comments, and we'll.
I've reached out to a couple of people regarding a newly established bike park in Stockholm. You might be able to guess what that is, but nothing's really planned yet. That could be fun. Just like the process of establishing a bike park in Stockholm and building trails and so on. We'll see if that happens, and then we can go on to 2021 plans. That's definitely a topic we could talk about in one of these shows. I think it's quite a long topic, so I wouldn't kind of get into it right now as a viewer question. I think we would base an entire show on it.
Cool. No more questions in the comments, so I'm guessing we're done. And remember, next show will be on Mileta's channel. Have fun or die trying. So if you're not already subscribed to him, make sure you do.
Sub, like, share, whatever it is.
We forgot about this question. You promised to return to it.
Sorry. My bad. Is it expensive to race the Mega? Depends on where you set the bar. So the actual race is about 120 euros. And by that, I mean, you get the quali, the race, you
Ski pass or lift pass?
Oh yeah, the lift pass is included. So you get like a week-long lift pass that covers the entire hill. Couple of meals, like post-race, so post-quali and post-race meals, like random goodie bag with water bottles and stickers. So it's about 120 euros. If you're doing it, make sure that you get the, 15 or 20 euro insurance. Very important, because most insurance companies will not cover racing unless you especially insure yourself for racing. So get that in case you break your neck or something. It covers a helicopter trip to Grenoble. Apparently, they have a very good intensive care ward. I've heard. But yeah, get that. So that's for the race and the insurance. And then the trip there is kind of whatever you make of it. I used to fly to Geneva and then get a train. You can get a rental car. That's more expensive. The train and the bus trip is, I don't know, 80 euros return. The flight was another 200-300. I mean, it's not the cheapest bike holiday ever, but for what you get, I think it's quite decent. And the lodging was, I think it was like 350 euros for the entire week or something. And this is in a small, like, just apartment with a kitchenette and a few beds. that worked out fine for us because we could cook our own food. We didn't need to go to restaurants. The restaurants are pretty expensive over there. But there's food's readily available at a shop just a few meters away. If you want to save even more, I'd say you can live in Almont, but that's all the way down in the valley, and you need to really think about the lift times and so on. So if you're not really strapped for cash, I'd say live in some kind of apartment complex in Alpe d'Huez itself, and that's where the race starts. That's where the lifts go from. So yeah, do that. If you want to go even cheaper, there's a camping in both Almont and under the start of the lift in Alpe d'Huez. Having a wife and a kid, I don't recommend that for people who have wives and kids. Definitely not.
That maybe leads us into another question we got from Johan asking about if we're about to do the van life and MTB around Sweden. I can say for myself, no, it's not going to happen. I mean, with kids and everything and family, no, it's not going to happen. Then again, I'm not too much of a camper guy, I think. I mean, I love nature, but I want to be in a room and with a bed and a shower and everything. So van life, not for me. What about you?
I'd love to try it. I think it kind of requires a partner who rides mountain bikes and is equally nerdy about it. My wife doesn't really ride mountain bikes, so I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, I could probably do it for a few weeks with friends, but I don't know. It is, however, romanticized dream of building up a van and heading out and being
true. I'm never gonna build a van. That's not gonna happen. But I guess if I just had the access to a van and I could go for myself without not having to share it with anyone, or sure, true. Then it would be kind of cool to drive off for 2 weeks every summer or something.
To be fair, so far we've been renting houses or apartments in around Sweden, and that worked out really well. The prices aren't too excruciating. I mean, we have a car rack or a bike rack for the car. That works out well. A van costs quite a bit, and you need to figure out what to do with it when you're not using it those 2 weeks every summer. So I think it's fine to just rent a house or an apartment wherever you go. And there are so many people renting out houses and apartments in Sweden that there's an abundance of them. It's never booked up. So yeah, that's what I'm going to continue doing basically.
All right, cool. I think we'll wrap it up.
Yeah.
Happy to have you guys joined us, and make sure to tune in to the next episode, whenever that is.
Oh, yeah. We'll come out with that information on Instagram and Facebook, and hopefully we'll manage to get Ollie on the show at some point. Yeah. All right. No, this has been great. Great chatting with you guys. Great chatting with you, Dennis.
Same.
Until next time.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
All right. Cheers.
Bye.
Catch you later. Bye-bye.